running on the water, coming to the pond where sons and daughters play. The river runs, and all the dreamers wake the nation. Come, the New Jerusalem. Let the river run, let all the dreamers wake the nation. Come, the New Jerusalem.
Now, so they have a chance to swallow. I'll talk about the next one, One Voice. It was written by Barry Manilow. And it says, that you'll see in your program, he heard it in a dream. He woke up and he croaked it, he said, into a tape recorder, because a lot of musicians will do that. They'll hear something and, they want to put it down, right? Ashley? You get an idea in your head, you got to do something with it. But he croaked it, it says in the book, into a tape recorder. So in the morning, he had written it. It was there when he woke up, and then probably he said, "Oh my goodness." That's the way to do it. It's so pretty. One voice. And this uses our soloist very nicely. The first was on this side.
Just one voice singing in the darkness. suits. Gee, we look swell, full of that Yankee doodly-dum. 500,000 boots went slogging through hell, and I was the kid with the drum.
Say, don't you remember? They called me Al. It was Al all the time.
Say, don't you remember, I'm your pal. Buddy, can you spare a dime?
I didn't talk about that one before because I want to read something to you about history, and I think they made you feel it. The song asks why the men who built the nation, built the railroads, built the skyscrapers, who fought in the war, World War I, who tilled the earth, who did what their nation asked of them should now, that the work is done and their labor no longer necessary, find themselves abandoned and in bread line. That's what the song's about. Okay, let's get a little happier now. Oh, that's not, no, we can do that at the end. That's in the wrong spot. Mark?
So I'm singing something, but I'm going to talk a little bit first because I was asked to. Stop saying My name is Mark Jackson. I came to the magical city of San Francisco in the year 2000, just from Tracy, California. Originally I'm from Ireland, but long story short, I've been in California since 1977. In Tracy, I worked at a newspaper, and I was happy and doing theater and this, that, and the other. But I just reached a point in my life where it was like, tired of working for the man, gotta be honest about life and be my, listen to Oprah a lot, be my original self. So the mothership called me home and I came here. And I didn't really know what I was going to do, but I got here and I got a job in a hotel, and bam, 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 it was great. It was cool. A couple years later, after 9/11, and tourism kind of went bust for a while, I was low man on the totem pole, lost my job, and with it, my place to live. And all of a sudden, that really scary word called homelessness was my reality. Well, I've camped, so I didn't mind the camping part. Being cold is fine when you got a sleeping bag, you know, it's nice and refreshing. Just when you're caught in the rain, and it's raining all the way through, and one night I was thought I was in the overhang of a drive-through bank. I thought that was cool. I woke up at 3 in the morning. I was directly under the joist, and so it was flooded me out. Anyway, the years, it's character-trying realities where your character is tried constantly. Sometimes you have to plan your whole day around a bowel movement, or, you know, you got to be in the right place when stuff you just really never considered. I never really realized how many places will not allow you to use the restroom until I didn't have a home with a restroom to go to. And I was very easily defeated at this time. And I was striving for mediocrity, I guess. And I just didn't think it was ever going to work out for me. And I started to buy into my little future tripping and, oh, woe is me, and woe is me. And, well, it probably didn't help that I was doing a lot of crystal meth at the time. You know, this kind of, it's a thing. As a former user, I still honestly don't begrudge a person who's on the street that little escapism. I just don't. However, it can be a real kick in the butt psychologically. And so I think people are dealing with that, even if they're not using any type of drug or alcohol or mental health issues. You know, I finally went to rehab, and then they sent me to be evaluated by all kinds of professionals, including psychiatrists, who found lo and behold, after a childhood of being beaten down constantly by my mother, I had PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and I was bipolar like my brother. And I thought, I was mad at that one because I think bipolar people, they're crazy. But, you know, the stigma of, gosh, mental health, I didn't talk about that. And my counselor at the rehab place said, you know what, Mark, if you had cancer, you wouldn't be embarrassed. You'd go and seek the treatment you needed. What you have is just as valid. You know, this is, bipolar is an organic thing. It's an imbalance. The PTSD, not so organic, but the construct of my brain created this alternate reality, and when I was faced with the horrors of what a toddler faced in my child, you know, I'd send myself out, I'd do something, but as an adult male in a situation where it kind of looked like in my brain that the same stuff was going to happen, although it wasn't going to, you know, just being peppered by 3 people talking to me at once, or all of a sudden not knowing what I thought I knew, or something that would get me unbalanced, all of a sudden my brain would switch back to what it had to do when I was a child, when I was a little child. And it does not serve an adult man very, very well. It did not serve me very well. So all of a sudden you flash back to this helpless, powerless 3-year-old. Well, you can't really medicate PTSD, the anxiety right enough you can, but it was talk therapy, and I embraced it. I embraced it because I thought, you know, Mark, you spent, at that point I was just turned 40, and I thought, you know, you spent the better part of 20 years having this thing happen to you, because I slowly, when I was housed, I was doing really well, nice jobs, I slowly was not quite hitting on all cylinders like I had been, and I couldn't figure out why. And it was just, it fed into my, people call it the something committee. I call it the loser parade, dancing in my head. You know, when things are going bad, you're going nowhere, you're doing nothing, you know. And they were out there in full force. And instead of co-signing that and falling right behind that parade, oh, woe is me, you know, I refused to be frozen to the spot in fear like I had been for so long. And when homelessness came around, it was those fears that were realized. It was things that I thought, even as a child, I remember when I was a very small child, drove to Dublin from Ireland, went to Dublin, and I saw from the bus, we call them tramps, we called them tramps then, you know, a homeless person with shopping bags walking through the street, and I was so moved. I've always been a real sensitive person anyway, but I couldn't even say, my mom saw me, my lip quivering, you know, Marky, what's wrong? Well, I couldn't even tell, I couldn't even say. It was so painful for me to have seen a person in that situation, and then years later, I'm in this situation, although I didn't walk around with shopping bags, I was kind of the kind of person that people would say, you're homeless? You don't look homeless, which was kind of cool because I didn't look homeless, except for the fact that I was homeless. And it was something I learned to own, something I learned to not be ashamed of. People have situations arise in their lives, and what my father, by example, taught me is it will come at you. It's the grace with which you face what comes at you that is the true test of your character. Kathleen McGuire was a friend of mine since 2000. When I sang in the Gay Men's Chorus. I sang there several years until I was just unable to do it anymore, being homeless. And the night after I got rained on that one night, the next day I was in Davies Hall with the Gay Men's Chorus in a tuxedo, thinking, "Wow, this is really weird." Yeah. And then the next night, my tux was stolen out of my shopping cart. So it also taught me a new relationship with my belongings. They come, they go. They come, they go. So what? You know, I used to be really, I bought that. It was really nice. I got that bear here. I don't care about that anymore. Kathleen had shared with me years ago how there was this choir in Australia, the Choir of Hard Knocks, as they called them. Now it's the Choir for Hope and Inspiration, that changed a nation's understanding of what homelessness is. When A special was done on this group by Australia's Channel 7. It just totally, a country that was very, well, it's their own problem, you know, didn't really want to help. It just changed the view, just changed them into people thinking, well, they're just people. These are just people. I know people who have PhDs who are homeless. You know, I know burnouts. I know lots of burnouts. I was one. I'm also college educated. I also speak 4 languages. I also do, you know, studied opera and all this stuff. But I was homeless, and my friend who was a clinical psychiatrist with his PhD was also homeless, and we run the gamut. We ran the gamut. It was because you see people from all walks of life who end up in that situation. And this choir, when I was walking through Civic Center Plaza one day and saw Kathleen, that I hadn't spoken to in quite a while, and Gregory, who was also from the Gay Men's Chorus, and I went to the restroom in the library, and I came out, and Gregory was standing there, and I thought, this is odd, this is awkward, but he had followed me because Kathleen said, talk to Mark, and she had shared with me the desire to get this choir going, and this is years later. I walked out, and Gregory said, we got the choir, and so this was, April of 2011. So they've been together about 6 months that I joined, and I've sung with more foo-foo choirs. You know, I've done hoity-toity things, but I've never been in a choir that's so rewarding as this. Simple people, we're simple people. Most of us are real simple. You know, to show up at a place and throughout the evening see people's perceptions change. People get an understanding of the fact of the humanity of the situation, of the need for so much understanding, and at the end of the day, we're all just people. And so I'm very grateful that my big move in life, in my adult life, was to come here to San Francisco. I would always say when I was out in the street, someone would say, "You're homeless?" I'd say, "I'm not homeless. San Francisco is my home. I'm houseless." So, what solo will you do, Mark? Well, there's no better place, as far as I'm concerned, except for Ireland, on God's green earth, than right here. It only takes a tiny corner of this great big world to make a place you love. My home upon the hill. You know I love you still. I've been away, but now I'm back to tell you. San Francisco, open your golden gate. You'll make no stranger wait outside your door. San Francisco, here is your wandering one, saying I'll wander no more. Other places only make me love you best. Tell me you're the heart of all the golden West. San Francisco, I'm coming home again. I'm coming home to go roaming no more. Other places only make me love you best. Tell me you're the heart of all the golden West. Golden West. San Francisco, I'm coming home again. I'm coming home to go roaming no more.